it's me, and these are the books I brought to college. You can't see all of them because the computer is actually sitting higher than the books are, but we are going to move them, and I'm going to move the computer, and we're going to go from there. Off to this side, off to that side. And the lamp has to move too, because otherwise the books don't fit. That was me. Shh. Don't tell. Okay? Ugh. Much better, don't you think? Okay. So, let's start at the top of these stacks and go down. Tithe by Holly Black. I realize the titles are backwards to you guys, but I can't really do anything about that. So, this is Tithe by Holly Black. Dark fairy tale, pretty much, that takes place in modern day, I think, New Jersey. That was my phone. If you heard that, you probably did. It says, "Hey, listen," like the fairy from Legend of Zelda. Navi, however you pronounce it. Tithe, very good. She wrote a bunch of other books, too, that go with this one, called Valiant and Ironside. You don't have to read one to read the others. Highly recommend it. Sorry. Skybreaker. This is the second one in a series. It goes along with Star Climber. And I don't know which pile I put it in. Oh dear. I think it's this one. Airborne, Kenneth Oppel. Steampunk stories, very good. I didn't discover these till recently, but I loved them, so they got to come with me. The Compass Guide to the Quest Tarot. Goes with my tarot cards. Pretty self-explanatory. Not really light reading material, but you know, you do what you gotta do, right? Cat's Eye, one of my favorite books of all times. This is a self-published book that was done through Lulu.com by Teresa Scheffler, who I started reading this on Fiction Press, and she came out with it to buy it, so I bought it because I love it. It's about it's kind of a coming-of-age story, like fantasy-wise. It's this girl, and she puts on a cat's eye, and if she takes it off, it's gonna like steal her soul. So she has to figure out how to get it off without dying, and she meets up with this assassin, and oh, it's very, very complicated, but very good story. However, you won't find it in your bookstores. So, Whim of the Dragon. This is another series. It goes with, over here, The Secret Country, and The Hidden Land. That's my phone too. 1 second. Sorry. These ones are about these kids who find their way from our world into a world that, well, it's kind of unclear if they made it up or they just kind of knew it was there without really knowing. But all kinds of stuff happens to them, and they have to pretty much like save the world. So of course that's lots of fun. All right, what's next? Poison Study, first one in a series. Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study. I only brought this one because it's my favorite. It's about a girl who is accused of murder, and she's set to hang, but instead of dying, they give her the position of the commander's food taster, and she has to like train with Valak, who's the phone again, who's the he's the commander's assassin and like poison master and everything. Of course, there's some romance involved there too. Very, very good. All right, next one is a set of 4 that Sophie will recognize. Wild Magic, Wolf Speaker, Emperor Mage, Realms of the Gods, which is my favorite. These are the Immortals series by... So, do you guys say Tamora? Is that how you say it? Tamora Pierce? Sure, why not? By Tamora Pierce. And this is my favorite series of hers, other than the Trickster books. I really like the Trickster books too, but my copy of Trickster's Choice has been through so much that I couldn't bring it with me. Next up, The Hobbit. I hope you've all heard of this. I like it far more than Lord of the Rings. It's way too cool to be left behind. It's much more fairy tale-like than Lord of the Rings. Paper Towns by John Green. And this is one of my favorite books of all time, which is, why I brought it with me. It's kind of about, it's about this guy and his would-be girlfriend goes missing. So he goes to find her. But it's kind of about realizing how wrapped up in ourselves we are and trying to break out of that and see what the world is really about. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is all 5 of them that Douglas Adams actually wrote. They start out hilarious. The 6th one doesn't end on such a funny note. I kind of wish it had ended differently because it was really stupid. But there was supposed to be a 6th one, but he died before he could write it. So the guy who wrote Artemis Fowl wrote it. I haven't read it, though, because it's probably not as good. Neverwhere. This is my favorite book because of the ending. I won't spoil it for you, unless you want me to. So let me know. Battle Royale. This one's actually borrowed. Me and my friend did a book swap before I came to school. I haven't read it yet because it's kind of boring. So. Crown Jewel. This is actually 2 books in one, Crown Jewel and Court Jewel. Another one of my favorite books, even though it's written in first person. I'm not a big fan of first person books. But it's got that whole little romance thing going on through the whole thing too, and it doesn't come together until like the very end. It was very frustrating. I wasn't sure if they were going to hook up, and I would have been very upset if they had it, but they did. So, Heir Apparent, another one of my favorite books. It's a little warped. I dropped it in the lake, but it's okay. Another first-person book. It's about a girl who gets stuck in a virtual reality video game. And she has to win the game in order to get out, or she's pretty much going to die because the game's going to, like, fry her brain. And it actually has, like, a legitimate setup. It's not like, oh, I'm stuck in a video game. Vivian van Velde is the author on that one. But it's really good. She didn't hook up with the guy in the end. Of course, she didn't know he was real. That might have had something to do with it. But, very good, very good. And finally, another one of my favorite books, Gone with the Wind. That was very frustrating because this one actually is misprinted. It's got a couple of pages near the end missing. And, it's very frustrating because, I don't know what happens. Well, I know what happens because I've read it before, but I didn't want to, like, return it because you know how valuable misprinted books are. So it came with me. But frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Except he didn't actually say frankly. That was added for the movie. This video has now gone over 8 minutes, which is longer than it was supposed to go. But it's okay, because I needed all that time to talk about my lovely books. We're going to talk some more about Tamora Pierce the next time I make a video, because that is where the character Rhianna Callanth comes from. Kind of. That and one other thing. We'll talk about that, though. Anyway, that is all. I'll stop this before it gets to 9 minutes. So, bye!